What is up, Rams fans, and welcome back to your Rams LAFB Show. I am your host, Ryan Anderson, joined by Erin Coscarelli. The Rams had a expansive front office press conference today that they dropped all the tea. They said all the things. They talked Stafford. They talked Davante Adams. They talked about draft and free agency. All of the things, and to help me do that, my better half, Erin Coscarelli. I mean, just your thoughts on this press conference. It was a news dump, as they say out there.
Whew. Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think also we got to learn conversations about all the coaching changes. And by the way, work with Ryan Anderson. He makes the best docs when it comes to doing our show, doing our research. Yeah, I mean, look, the obvious reporters ask the kind of no-brainer questions, the Jimmy G's, what are we doing with, what are we doing with Jimmy? And then obviously Stafford comes up. Aubrey Pleasant, who I'm one of his biggest fans. McVay answered. So I mean, we'll probably get into some of that stuff, but yeah, it was newsworthy. It was an eventful day.
Well, I wanted to start just kind of at the top with kind of the broadest kind of questions that the reporters asked and what they answered. So it's the draft, trade, offseason kind of philosophy ideas. Just kind of the highlights. The Rams are open to drafting, to trading their first round picks for a proven player. They do have an aggressive mindset. They're willing to explore an all pro level talent. There is a focus on the secondary. Those two ideas came from Snead. Trade talks are active. They're engaged in those. They're on the phones.
But don't you think sometimes the Rams are coy? Like, McVay and Snead, they try to, what's it called? Throw us off the scent. They've done that. And if I can think about it, I'll give some examples. Yeah. But just because they're saying they would, sometimes they end up planting the fake seeds and then they totally bob and weave and do a fake out. So
Yeah, well, they are involved in active negotiations with players that they may or may not be looking to replace. So, I mean, they do have to play their cards pretty close to the vest for sure. And, I think that while, yes, there's definitely coach speak and subterfuge going on here, you also have to keep these things on the table. I think you have to think of everything that, from draft capital to salary cap space to tradable assets, whatever you want to throw into that. All of those things have to be on the table. You're building a team. You're building a business. You can't just take random things off the table because you love that player or you love that coach, that kind of thing. Interesting thing from Snead. The goal is to use free agency to avoid being desperate in the draft. I loved that one.
Ooh. Oh yeah. And and that's, I just got really excited about that. When I spoke with Joe DeLeon, who was at Indy, he's like, what the Rams do really well? Cause I'm like, how their drafting strategy? And he's like, they don't overthink. And I think when you see franchises like the Browns or the Jets or the Giants try so hard to get it right, it usually doesn't. It's almost like the relationship where the one person that doesn't care because they know they got it going on, so they're not right, like doing the try hard thing. That's like, it's kind of like that's the one that has the what is it called, like the
upper hand
value. Yeah, the upper hand, So anyways, so the Rams are coming in. That's a really, I didn't hear him say that we use free agency as a way to not be desperate in the draft, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense. And McVay emphasized not reaching for needs in the draft, but drafting players they truly believe in. So,
Yeah.
for those of you expecting, cornerback, just because of the need, that may not happen. And you actually don't want that. You don't want that. I promise you. You want the good players on your on your roster, regardless.
Right.
The champagne problems that McVay always talks about. It's like it's better to have two quality quarterbacks or running backs or several wide receivers than be stuck anyway. Get off.
Yeah, no, but also the other thing that they do is they draft guys well in their system. So what's interesting is it doesn't necessarily always matter about wingspan or speed, but really the intangibles beyond what we're seeing on the football field, which matters so much more. I mean, you know, uh,
And you saw, yeah. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well, you saw a distinctive shift in the Rams in that, and I think Cooper Kupp had a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
not input, but he was a lot of the reason they shifted it. It was like this guy works his butt off on every single down. He's super smart. He's trying to get better every year, and they were like, oh, a guy like that, one, you don't have to coach him as hard. You don't have to, get in his face and yelling at him or anything like that because he's going to be harder on himself than and then hard work. How do you teach hard work? I've been a boss times. I wish I could knew how to motivate people. And when you don't have to coach or motivate people, your job just becomes a lot easier.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
What do you want to jump to next? Should we do coaching staff stuff or Stafford stuff?
I mean, I think we can marry Stafford and Jimmy G and then go into coaching.
Yeah. I mean, the big news on Stafford is there's been talks. Everybody feels really good. The quotes, great dialogue, stable place.
Stable. We're in a stable place.
Yeah. But also they are still looking at it as a year-to-year idea. Even if they add years onto it, they're just going to think about it as we're going to go through 2026. Then when we get to 2027. So these conversations are not going anywhere. And they went so far as to recognize that Stafford is closer to retirement than he is not, I guess is the way to put that.
Well, and then there's so much to this, which I know we don't have like all the time in the world, but with Stafford announcing he's coming back for sure doesn't necessarily mean he now has like leveraging rights to go elsewhere, which obviously I just can't. Obviously, Stafford wouldn't go anywhere at this point. And the Rams are such a kind of, they take care of their guys organization, that it's obvious Stafford, even though he seemed to suggest he was coming back, he's just in such a prime position. The other thing that's interesting, though, is Jimmy G. They want him back. And so then what does that mean for Stetson Bennett?
That's a great question.
Right? Because then, okay, if they Rams absolutely want him back, which I get, then you're drafting a quarterback. You're going to have Stetson as well, or you like, what's the whole Stetson experiment? I just want to know that.
Yeah, I mean, he's still on the roster. He's got one more year on his rookie deal. So I think if they had their druthers, they would move forward with Stafford, Garoppolo, and Bennett there. But to your point, that does mean that they're in no hurry to elevate Stetson Bennett into that second quarterback spot. So what does that mean for his future with the club? I mean, I would say it's probably nearing its end. Because he did not come close to, that second quarterback spot at all. So Sean McVay also mentioned that he has heard the rumors that the Cardinals are interested in Garoppolo. So I think that's interesting that he's paying attention to these rumors as well.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, contract conversations with Davante Adams have not started yet.
Yeah.
He's entering the last year of his deal with a gigantic top 3 cap hit among wide receivers. So they're
what
going
is it, 28 or 26?
28, yeah, a little over 28 mil. So
yeah,
interesting stuff there. I'm trying to find one more quote about here it is, about this should have been in the previous, but it has to do with Matthew Stafford. I'm just going to read it verbatim. Per Stu Jackson of the Rams.com also asked Les Snead about even this is written weird, but even with Matthew Stafford coming off an MVP season, but still in a year-to-year arrangement, whether they feel they need to explore an avenue to find his successor this offseason potentially. Snead said they are always working through scenarios, and they have always been honest about Stafford being closer to retirement than not. While, quote, that's always a possibility, he said, it's not a desperate matter. So I think that's him beating around the bush as much as possible, that they are keeping an eye on who's available at quarterback that could possibly, potentially, at one time, whenever it comes, replace Matthew Stafford. So that is a way to say this is not news. this should not be news, but I wanted to say it to reinforce what we've been saying is, yes, they are looking. They are paying attention. Now, who they're looking at and what they're looking at, that's not our concern yet. But the how and the when and the why are all concerns there for sure.
Yeah. And it's our job to speculate until proven otherwise. Okay.
Yeah, we gotta pick this apart. I mean, what else are we gonna do this time of year?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, I still go back to, if we get anything right, whether we do a mock draft or, like, I want recognition. I want credit. Okay. We're doing it. We are doing some version of a mock draft. We're going through all the Rams and who they're picking.
Well, we'll do a show at some point, and we'll call it the Victory Lap, where we just go through our takes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how.
And then after each one, we do a bow. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
You want a medal? You want
or like the air guns, I love when guys do that to me. Like, hey, lady. Like, no. A couple times. Oh, I complained recently that guys rev their engines when they're like, I almost got into a crash because some guy in a truck scared the living daylights out of me. I'm like, sir, you should be getting a ticket for this. This is not funny, cool. No one thinks it's hot. Anyways, air guns. Also air guns. That's another one. Let's retire that as well.
Well, to quote Amber from my 7th grade class, grow up.
She said that to you a lot?
Just one time, but I still remember.
Oh.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
So the Rams talked about the coaching staff changes. Talked a little bit Cliff Kingsbury and Aubrey Pleasant. So I'm gonna let you take this one, Aubrey Pleasant. You're a big fan. I mean, this is a tough pill for us to swallow over here at the Rams LAFB show. I know there are several people out there that are happy to see Aubrey Pleasant hit the bricks. because the secondary was not up to their standards. But what do you think?
I mean, look, I know the Rams loved him. McVay loved him. The players loved him. He was great to the media. And I reposted a Gary Klein tweet on a McVay quote on Aubrey Pleasant saying, we had been together for 7 of 9 years. He made tremendous contributions to us, but just felt it was going to be in the best interest of both parties to be able to move on. I mean, I'm not going to suggest what could have happened there, but it's a tough pill to swallow if you're an Aubrey Pleasant fan and you know how much he contributed. So then does it just become, is it a philosophical issue? Is it, remember this too. One of the things that I posted actually was him buying in on Emmanuel Forbes, right? So was Aubrey putting his reputation on the line and saying, "Hey, I got these guys. I can fix what was Emmanuel? I think he was like a 16th. He was like a very high draft pick,
top 20,
and top 20 for sure. And then had flashes of greatness, and then didn't. Really struggled. I mean, just in general, I felt like the Rams secondary struggled with tackling. So, how much was this? And Aubrey put himself on the line and it just didn't work out. And now the Rams are exercising accountability. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and it sounds like maybe Aubrey, he was getting defensive coordinator interviews.
Yeah.
He was, I wouldn't say.
But see, that's what I don't understand. Like, can I speak to the manager on this one? Because
let me hop on the soapbox just for a second before you
go.
Rams hired him.
Yeah.
They promoted him.
Yeah.
They brought him back. Right. They made him assistant coach. They gave him the opportunity to call plays in the preseason. That's not that doesn't just go to any Tom, Dick, or Harry on the staff. They believed in him, and so this idea that there's one I got the one guy on Twitter, his voice in my head, right? Well, is typing that they moved on from him because he failed. Is like they failed then. If that's true, the Rams are the ones, like, they believed in him. And sometimes in a professional relationship, things run their course and it's time to move on. So, I mean, don't throw this guy under the bus is all I'm trying to say, because the Rams believed in him, and like you said, he was a great guy as well, and a real gem of a person, which isn't always the case among all of these people. So while it didn't save his job, not only that, but look at what he had. It's not like they just threw him a bunch of blue chippers. Last year, how many draft picks were in the secondary? How many were in the secondary? How many first round?
Say that last one again.
How many first round picks were allocated to them? How many second round picks were allocated to the second? It's just like he did a lot of good work with what he had.
He was
asked to do a lot, and maybe he said, "Yes, coach, I'm on it. We'll turn these guys into all pros." And if that's what he said, yes, he felt.
And that's right. That could have been it too. Listen, we are presidents of the Aubrey Pleasant fan club, but that's a very good point too. Were they, "Hey, do you need anything?" And he's like, "No, I got my guys." Or who knows, and that's why I think this kind of conversation is, we don't really know, guys. We're just speculating based on the patterns we've seen. We just know he was beloved, but the secondary is the issue, right? And so just like Chase Blackburn gets fired midseason or, goes on his merry way, maybe the Rams are feeling like the other issue for us, aside from special teams, is secondary.
Yeah. Well, we wish him well in his future endeavors, and hopefully he succeeds in his next place. They talked about Cliff Kingsbury as well.
Yep.
McVay said
assistant head coach.
Yeah. What's intriguing about it is it's been different from what we've done. This is what McVay said about Cliff Kingsbury. And just because it's different doesn't mean it can't be better. And gosh, I love that. This offense was one of the premier offenses in the league, and McVay is still saying, can we be better? Can we incorporate more and be better? And if you want to go hear a coaching perspective on this, go check out the episode I did with Cody Alexander of Match Quarters. The episode is called Fixing the Rams Defense. He's a great defensive mind, which also means he knows a ton about offense. And he also crossed paths with Cliff Kingsbury in his time in the Big 12. So got some good insights on that. And he thinks it's just going to be layers of what Cliff Kingsbury brings, and of course what Sean McVay brings. And Sean McVay did mention, believe it or not, he will be the play caller.
Shocker! Can you just imagine this? What if McVay was your best friend? How much better of a human would you become having McVay, who's why don't we do it like this? He is always leveling up when he is at the top of his game. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he's never complacent. He's never on his back feet. He's always
and that part of his ego, that's other guys wouldn't allow in a former head coach because they might take some shine away from them.
Yeah.
He does it every year.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah. And he even said in his presser, I'm happy for LaFleur. And he's sincere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's really wild. It's really wild that in a game of such ego and really needing to be the best, he does a great job of navigating that, of, channeling that in a healthy way.
He was asked about adding Robert Woods and Brian Allen to the coaching staff. And he did say, I'm not doing them a favor. He strongly believes in their coaching ability, but I bring it up because he says, this is a weird quote, but he says, we're getting a little older now. And our new players are starting to infiltrate the staff. And so I don't know exactly what that means, but I dig it. I don't know what it means.
I saw that too. I thought that was what did he mean by that? Is he wanting current, how in the broadcast booth they always want the young guy that just retired from the NFL to keep him current? Maybe it's a little bit of that,
Well, and I've shouted it out, bringing in young minds. Nate Scheelhaus was the guy, the two college coaches that they brought in on the defensive side as well. Just bringing in young talent, rising stars as they're called.
I wonder who's the youngest coaching roster and who's the oldest. And then let's even deep dive how good are the ages compared to the old dogs, right? Because you got Andy Reid, who's the best of the best. And I think he's second oldest coach, or maybe now he's the oldest, right? Because Carroll is gone. Belichick is gone.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a great question. And it seems like there should be a good mix because you got all that knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
Mixed with new ideas.
Yeah.
I talk with my hands a lot, but it's off screen. So what do I do?
What do I do with my hands? What is that movie?
Talladega Nights, the greatest, and I don't apologize for it, the greatest Will Ferrell movie. I will not apologize.
Oh, take that back.
Nope.
Take that back. Take that back.
It's the best.
Wow.
It hasn't aged well, to be honest. So maybe I should change that opinion. A lot of anti-gay slurs in that one. But
well, even Wedding Crashers is a Will Ferrell's in that. Ron Burgundy.
Suspect.
Oh, so good. Another guy just imagine Will Ferrell being your best. Like, I can't. All these awesome people living in LA. Like, why aren't we getting invited to like the cool hangouts with all these funny, brilliant people?
I mean, you are. You get invited to awesome stuff. I'm gonna watch F1 with my neighbor on Saturday. That's about the extent of that. Melbourne, first race in Melbourne. Watch out for Ferrari.
Oh, yeah.
It's our year. Just to round this out, Tyler Higbee. Apparently, he's still deciding on what he wants to do with his future in the NFL.
Wow.
Interested in bringing him back if he decides not to retire. And then Kevin Dotson, they're going to wait until later in the offseason to talk about his extension, but they are interested in a long-term partnership. I'm going to put my first victory lap gold medal. I said they're going to have to renegotiate Kevin Dotson's contract on one of our shows. A little gold medal, a little victory, just a little one, small gold medal.
Yeah.
Chocolate inside for sure. But any thoughts on those two? I mean, quite a surprising. Higbee's considering retirement.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, the Rams are wheeling and dealing, right? If they can get Higbee back and he comes, with a discount, why not? Again, keeping veteran leadership in the locker room to sort of coach and bring along a very young Terrence Ferguson who might want some mentorship, much like Davante Adams is doing with Puka Nacua. If we can do all of these things, Kevin Dotson wanting a long-term partnership, I say yes to that. Say yes to the dress, although that didn't really sound right, but you know what I mean, like a long-term partnership. Anyways, yeah, I think things will pan out. The chips will fall. The dominoes will come crashing down. What other terrible one-liners? When I sent you that voice note yesterday too, I was like, what was it? Slapping the bass. I'm like, I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
Yeah, man crush, as always, Paul Rudd.
Oh.
Is my man
crush.
I've
interviewed him and I was like, I don't know what to say to you right now. He was hysterical. I wanted to cry. Yeah.
We're going to get him on the show at some point. I don't know why, but
yeah. We're his biggest fans. What was that movie? Oh, I Love You, Man. That's what it was called. Yeah. Sorry.
That's where that one comes from?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I think that's all we've got. I think we've reached the end of our ropes.
We've exhausted ourselves.
We just recorded an episode about the Max Crosby rumor, so that'll be up already. So go check that out. That was a fun quickie. And let us know what you think on just what's happening within the Rams building right now. I mean, this is pretty cool stuff that they've talked about so far. We've got free agency and the draft impending. Free agency right around the corner. We're going to be doing a little free agency preview on Friday, and we'll see you then. Until then, check out FanDuel, and appreciate you guys.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.